No. So, welcome to the Sunday Bhagavatam class. Today we're beginning a new chapter. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, today we begin first canto of the Bhagavatam, chapter 17, text 1. And first here's the Sanskrit. Sutta uvacha tatra go mitunang raja hanyamanang anatavat danda hastam cha rishalam dadrashe nirpalanchanam. Prabhupada's translation, Sutta Goswami said, after reaching that place, Maharaj Parikshit observed that a lower caste Shudra, dressed like a king, was beating a cow and a bull with a club as if they had no owner. Actually, I mean, literally as if they had no protector, no guardian. So I'll read Prabhupada's purport. The principal sign, oops, let me turn this off. The principal sign of the age of Kali is that lower caste Sudras, that is, men without Brahminical culture and spiritual initiation, will be dressed like administrators or kings, and the principal business of such non-Kshatriya rulers will be to kill the innocent animals, especially cows and bulls, who shall be unprotected by their masters, the bona fide Vaishyas, the mercantile community. Bhagavad Gita 1844 says that the Vaishyas are meant to deal in agriculture, cow protection, and trade. In the age of Kali, so to protect the citizens of the state, in the age of Kali, the degraded Vaishyas, the mercantile men, engage in supplying cows and bulls to the slaughterhouse instead of protecting them. The Kshatriyas are meant to protect the citizens of the state, whereas the Vaishyas are meant to protect the cows and bulls and utilize them to produce milk and grain. The cow is meant to deliver milk and the bull is meant to produce grain. Thus, the cow and bull are the mother and father of human beings. The mother and father must be given all protection and are not to be killed. But in the age of Kali, the Shudra class of men are in the posts of administrators, and the cows and bulls, or the mothers and fathers, unprotected by the Vaishyas, are subjected to the slaughterhouses organized by the Shudra administrators. That's a pretty no-nonsense and accurate description. So, Sutta Vacha, Tatra Go Mitunang Raja Hanyamanam. So the pair of go in Sanskrit can mean cow, but also mean a bull, can mean other cow. So a go mitunam, a go pair, means a cow and a bull. Tatra go mitunam raja, hanyamanam, they were being struck or being killed, anata vat. Vat, as if they were anata, they had no guardian, no protector. Krishna is the guardian of the universe, not some person out of Marvel comics. And therefore he's called Jagannatha, which means guardian of the universe. So Parikshit Dadrashe, he saw Vrishalam, a low class, uncivilized person, Danda Hastam, with a stick in his hand. Prabhupada translates it club. And Nirpalanjana, with the external markings of a king. And interesting, the word for king here is Nirpa, which literally means a protector of human society. So, as Prabhupada explains, I mean, this is an interesting point. If we look at ancient civilizations, very ancient civilizations, which have left only archaeological remains, like in the Middle East and so on, in some cases. And but we find there is worship, or there are totems made, these little figures made, which archaeologists assume had a sacred purpose, of cows and bulls, and the female figure perhaps seen as an earth goddess or whatever, some type of divine mother. So this idea that there are creatures in nature who symbolize or represent divine purpose, or who somehow play a key role in a divine plan for human life. This is a very ancient idea, and it's actually true. Of course, nowadays, bulls are replaced by tractors, and even nowadays, many people don't take dairy products. They may, take like oat milk or something like that, or whatever, or artificial milk. And the animals that are used for producing dairy products are treated in evil, cruel ways, which is why many devotees have become vegan. So, Gomitanam, the cow and the bull, somehow symbolize human prosperity, human flourishing, by the gifts they give. And of course, the replacing the bull with tractors, and in general, fossil fuel driven conveyances, cars, tractors. And of course, now there's an emphasis on electric vehicles, which also, by the way, have a huge negative impact on the environment in producing them and getting all the raw materials and getting all the pieces needed to put together this electric vehicle, and everything that's needed to generate electricity and so on. So Prabhupada was very strongly in favor of a more natural society. He grew up in a largely natural society. I mean, they had some probably simple cars in India back then and some factories, but India was much more a natural, say, almost like a pre-industrial in some ways society in the world in which Prabhupada grew up. So we'll continue with this story. Vrisham Mrinala Dhavalam Mehantam Iva Bibyatam Vepamanam Padayikena Siddhantang Shudrataditam. So Vrisha means the bull. Interestingly, the word Vrishalam means a low-class person, Vrishalam, but just Vrisha means the bull. So Vrisham, Mrinala Dhavalam, white as a lotus, Mrinala Dhavalam, Mehantam, urinating, Eva, as it seemed to be, or Mehantam, Eva, Bibyatam, and fearing, Vepamanam, trembling, Padayikena, on one leg or one foot. This, of course, will be a theme because this is the symbolic bull of Dharma, of religiosity, and the four legs of Dharma are the four ethical pillars of civilized life. But this bull is just on one leg or one foot. Siddhantam, Prabhupada translates it, terrified also means like sinking, just sinking. And Shudra Taditam, beaten by a Shudra. So this is what King Parikshit sees, and then we'll see how he reacts to this very differently than the reaction of modern politicians. So Gang Chadharma Dugang Dinang Vrisham Shudra Padahatam. So the gam, the cow in this case, Dharma Dugam, which is, how Prabhupada translates that, beneficial because one can draw religion from her. Dugam means like milking. You can milk a cow for something. So this cow literally can be milked for Dharma. This cow can be milked for dharma. And dinang, but in a wretched state, brisham, extremely fearful or wretched, and shudra pada, by a shudra's foot, ahatam, struck, being struck. Vivatsam, without a vatsa, without a calf. It had no calf. Ashruvadanang, it had tears in its eyes, or tears on its face. Ashruvadanang. Kshamang, very weak, like emaciated. Javasam ichatin, and desiring grass. In other words, wanting to be nourished. This cow wants to be nourished, wants to be protected. Javasam ichatin. Prabhupada translates this, although the cow is beneficial because one can draw religious principles from her, she was now rendered poor and calfless. Her legs were being beaten by Shudra, there were tears in her eyes, and she was distressed and weak. She was hankering after some grass in the field. So, papracha ratamarudha. So this is clearly Parikshit, ratamarudha, up mounted in his chariot. So Arudha means he was higher than the Shudra, obviously, because he was in a raised position on his chariot. So Prapacham, he questioned Karataswara Parichadam, and he was covered with sort of golden armor. Karataswara Parichadam Mega Gambhirayavacha, with a voice which was as deep as rumbling thunder, or like clouds. When the clouds, you hear that very deep rumble in the clouds. His voice was like that. Samaropita karmuka. And he was fully equipped with bow and arrows. So now Parikshit speaks, and he says, Kastvam, who are you? He's clearly speaking to the Shudra. Kastvam, who are you? Matcharane loke balad hangsya balan bali. Who are you that in a world which has taken shelter of me, loke, in a world that is under my shelter, balad, by force, hangsi, you attack a balan, a weak person, a person who doesn't have strength, bali, when you do have strength. In other words, this is hardly noble. Kali is described here as bali, having bala, having strength, and yet Parikshit says you are striking, you are attacking someone who is abalan, a female who doesn't have that power. It's female here because he's talking about the cow. So Naradevo si Veshena, by dress, you are a king. And the word for dress here is Naradeva, literally sort of a god among men. Naradeva. So by your costume or by your clothes, you are a Naradeva. But Natava, you're like an actor. Karmanadvija. And by your action, you are Advija, someone who's not twice born, someone who's not civilized. So by dress, you are high class, but by your action, you're not at all a civilized human being. Prabhupada translates that, oh, who are you? You appear to be strong, and yet you dare kill within my protection those who are helpless. By your dress, you pose yourself to be a man god, king, but by your deeds, you are opposing the principles of the twice-born Kshatriyas. Yastwang Krishne Gate Durang Sahagandiva Danvana Shochosya Shochan Rahasi. praharan vadamarhasi. So, Krishna gate duram. Now that Krishna has gone far away, Krishna gate duram, it is you who's, and Krishna has gone far away, Saha Gandiva Dhanvana, and he has gone far away with the person who wields the Gandiva bow, Arjuna. So, Josi, you are, Prabhupada translates Socha as a culprit, which is an interesting translation. Socha also means someone who's pitiable, but here Prabhupada translates it. So the word Socha in the Sanskrit dictionary means to be lamented or deplorable or miserable. So it's like saying you are wretched, you are a miserable person. Because Asochan Rahasi Praharan, because Praharan, you are attacking Rahasi in a secluded place, those who are not guilty, those who are innocent, who are not in a miserable or deplorable situation. So you are Socha, but and in a private, in a hidden place, you are attacking those who are not Socha. So that's, and therefore he says, Badamarhasi, you deserve to be killed, basically. You deserve to be killed. So, so that's Parikshit's statement. Now that Krishna has gone far away, together with the wielder of the Gandiva bow, you, in a secluded place, are attacking, you are culpable or attacking those who are innocent. You deserve to die. You deserve to be killed. That's Parikshit's statement. And then Twang Vamranala Dhavala Padar Yunak Padacharan Risharupena King Kaschit Devo Nat Parikidayan. So Parikshit says Twam Va, because he's talked about the cow who represents, the bull represents Dharma, and the cow represents the mother or the person who supplies everything. And so then he spoke to Kali, and now he's talking to the bull again. He said, Twang Va Mrinala Dhavala, you are as white as a lotus. And then Padar Nyuna Padacharan, and bereft of your legs, you are moving in one leg. Risha Rupena, in the form of a bull. King, Kaschit Devonak Parikedian, are you some divine being, some celestial being who is causing us to grieve? In other words, because the devas, they have power, they can manipulate, they can control human beings. So Parikshit asks, have you taken this form? Or are you actually a demigod or a deva who has taken this form just to cause us great affliction to see the bull of Dharma being treated like this? So I'll read one more. Najatu Kauravendranang Dordanda Parirambite Bhutale Nupatanti Asmin Binate Praninam Suchaha. So this basically has never happened before. Najatu Kauravendranam Dordanda Parirambite. So something Dordanda means that that a kshatriya whose arms are like these great pillars, very powerful arms. So the Parirambite in Bhutale, here on earth, in countries protected, surrounded by and protected by qualified kshatriyas, in the kingdoms of the Kuru kings, This has never happened before. This has never happened in this world. And you are the first one. You are the exception. Praninang suchaha. Because no innocent person has ever caused society so much grief by so much lamentation, by suffering unjustly. So this has never happened before in a country protected by qualified Kshatriya warriors. So, Prabhupada says the protection of the lives of both human beings and animals is the first and foremost duty of a government. The government must not discriminate in such principles. It is simply horrible for a pure-hearted soul to see organized animal killing by the state in this age of Kali. Maharaj Parikshit was lamenting for the tears in the eyes of the bull, and he was astonished to see such an unprecedented thing in his good kingdom. Men and animals were equally protected as far as life is concerned. That is the way in God's kingdom. Beautiful purport. So we'll stop there. I will just quickly check to see if there are any questions. Let's see. Thank you all for listening. Got a little applause there for one of my devotee friends. So thank you very much, and hopefully we'll see everyone tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Oh, I'm sorry. A little tired there. We'll see everyone next Sunday. Hare Krishna.